Wow, we have some more NBA news. Today, the New York Knicks traded small forward Carmelo Anthony to the Oklahoma City Thunder for small forward Doug McDermott, center Enes Kanter, and a 2018 second round pick. This is a really weird trade that I don't think anyone was expecting to happen, and I'm still going to analyze it. What is going on, everyone? It is Electric VyPr, and today I'm going to be talking about the Carmelo Anthony trade. So only a few minutes ago, the New York Knicks, as I said only a few seconds ago, traded Carmelo Anthony to the Oklahoma City Thunder. This was a really weird trade. I don't think anyone expected the Thunder to be the team that would get Carmelo Anthony. I think most people expected the Rockets. Some people were hoping Portland. I don't know if that ever had any potential behind it, but still, it was an option. This is a really weird trade because the Thunder just traded for Paul George only a few months ago. That was a really big move, and now they just get another all-star small forward. That, to me, makes little sense. But I guess they're going to probably put one of them at power forward. So let's look at the new lineups for each team. Russell Westbrook, of course, is still going to be starting at point guard. Andre Robertson, I'm going to say, is going to be the shooting guard. The forwards are going to be Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. I don't know who's going to be starting at which forward position, but I just know that they're going to be the two starting forwards. You're going to have Steven Adams starting at center, and Patrick Patterson coming off the bench, I was thinking he was going to be their starting power forward. I think he's decent, and as a Toronto fan, I know he's actually not that bad. If he's open, he will make it, but putting him on the bench, I think that's a better role for him. That's what he's done for most of his career. He hasn't been really a starter at all. So I think this is actually a kind of good move for the Thunder, and I don't know how they keep on getting teams to trade their best players and just give them nothing. I don't know how they keep on doing that, but if it works, it works. Most teams, Masai Ujiri has tricked the Knicks I don't know how many times now. I guess the Knicks they're an easy team to be able to get good players from, or just get rid of bad players. Now with the Knicks, they have Frank Ntilikina, who was their draft pick, starting at point guard. Shooting guard, they're going to have Tim Hardaway Jr., who they signed in free agency. Small forward, I think Doug McDermott might be starting at small forward for them. Now without Carmelo Anthony, they don't really have that much depth there, so I think that he's probably going to be starting. Power forward, Kristaps Porzingis, who people are saying is going to be one of the best players in a couple of years. I think he might be, but he needs more talent around him. And then Enes Kanter starting at center with Joakim Noah coming off the bench. This lineup isn't that good, but then again, no one's expecting the Knicks to be good anyway. The Knicks are going into rebuild mode. They just fired Phil Jackson. Carmelo Anthony's gone. Derrick Rose is gone. They really don't have any players who they've had recently who are like top tier good anymore. Which, that makes sense. The Knicks, they're rebuilding. So I really think that this is a perfectly fine move for the Knicks. They got decent players in Enes Kanter and Doug McDermott. Doug McDermott is wildly inconsistent though, so that could work out in some circumstances. That might not work out in others though. But now I think that the East is even more strange than it already was. A ton of stars from the East leaving, going to the West. We have another one, and now we have just another weird team in the East, the New York Knicks. The West, on the other hand, I think is now even stronger. While many people will say that there's going to be a giant ego battle in Oklahoma City between Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony, I do see that. But then again, that is what everyone said about the Warriors when they got Kevin Durant. There was going to be a giant ego battle between Curry, Thompson, Durant, and Draymond Green. Which I did agree with that at the time, but as we saw last season, that really didn't happen. It happened for a few games early on, but for the most part, the Warriors were a very good team. There were no real ego issues. People saying that might be the case with the Rockets and the Thunder. Well, if this happened before the Warriors signed Kevin Durant, yeah, I would believe that, but now that we've seen what Kevin Durant did with the Warriors and no ego battle, I think that it might actually work. I think there might not be as big of an ego battle as everyone is saying. I also think that this makes the Thunder a top 3 potential team in the West, depending on how Carmelo Anthony and Paul George play. If Paul George and Carmelo Anthony both play very well, then yes, I definitely think they're going to be top 3. But if not, if they play too much isolation, then I don't think so. Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George were in the top 9 players scoring most in isolation last year, which makes sense because they were all the best players on decent to lousy teams. And now that they're all together, they're definitely going to have to figure out a way to be able to not just to be able to work together. Just they're not the best player on their own teams anymore. They're going to need to figure out, I think, Paul George and Melo, or at least definitely Melo, since he's the oldest out of them. They're going to have to figure out how to be able to play without being the number one guy, be able to sit on the bench and not see your team lose most of the time, or just be able to do that. And I think that'll apply with all of them. The Thunder don't need Westbrook in every single play anymore because they have Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, and still have some decent role players. I mean, Steven Adams is still pretty good. Andre Robertson is decent, and Patrick Patterson, as I talked about earlier, he's not that bad. So I don't think he needs to be on the floor every single moment for the Thunder anymore. I think Paul George and Carmelo Anthony are definitely going to help Westbrook pick that weight off his shoulders that was left when KD left. Overall, I think that this is a really weird trade. I was not expecting it. I remember reading articles saying that Melo was going to be traded by Monday, more than likely Houston, but no, Oklahoma City of all places. I definitely was not expecting that. This upcoming NBA season has just gotten so much more interesting in the past couple months. You had Paul George, you had Jimmy Butler, Isaiah Thomas, and now Carmelo Anthony. This is going to be an amazing, or hopefully amazing, upcoming NBA season, and I am very, very excited for it to begin.